Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Gibson Field on the campus of Canton High School in Canton, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity baseball contest between the hosting Bulldogs of Canton High School and the visiting Brookline High Warriors. Brookline was a little late to arrive today, so we're wasting no time in getting this one underway. As you see, they're just wrapping up the warm-ups now. Brookline didn't have a chance to warm up in the fields because we've got to get this going. This is an outdoor sport, so darkness is a threat, and so we've got to get this going. So let's get this one started. The starting pitcher for Canton today is number 16, Hayden Rose, and leading off for Brookline is going to be number 5, Keenan Sawada. First pitch to Sawada is inside for ball 1. And just like that, we are underway. This game was originally slated to start at 4:15, but Brookline hit some really bad traffic, as that one is going to miss for ball 2 to Sawada. To and oh the count. That one is in there for strike 1. Brookline riding high off a thrilling walk-off win against Wellesley 2 days ago, as this one skips in the dirt for ball 3. Sawada had a very productive day at the plate on Wednesday. I believe he was 3 for 4 with a walk and 2 runs scored, and also hit his first double of the year. But here he's going to start with a leadoff walk. That'll be his team-leading 13th walk of the year. And that is going to bring up, I believe, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. Because of the hasty start of this game, I was not given a roster for Brookline, so I'm going to be filling in those blanks as I go. In the meantime, Kravitz at the plate, Sawada at first. First pitch, shows bunt, pulls back. It's a high ball 1. Kravitz on the season, 4 for 39, 6 walks, 1 hit by pitch, 1 steal, 4 runs, and 1 RBI. Excuse me. Shows bunt, pulls back again. That'll be ball 2. Brookline clearly hoping to move their leadoff runner along. But that time, Kravitz just takes strike 1. So after a couple of balls, Kravitz not even showing bunt. Throw back to first. Sawada gets back easily. My apologies for the camera view kind of blocking the pitcher. You know, that's on me for not picking the best possible spot. And this time, Kravitz lays down the bunt. It's up the first base line, and it is just foul. The first baseman, number 34, Jack DeGirolamo, decided to just wait and let that one roll just over the line for a foul ball. So now 2-strike count to Kravitz. That one's just going to miss outside. Kravitz now facing a full count. So by letting that ball roll foul, they run the chance of getting Kravitz out without advancing the runner, but they also run the chance now of issuing him a free base. Full count. And Kravitz fouls this one off out of play down the first base side. Count remains full. Rose steps off the rubber briefly and now resets. Kravitz makes contact. That's clean out to left for a single. 2 runners on to start for Brookline here in the top of the first. And now with 2 on and nobody out, up comes number 9, Nico Hart. Hart playing in his first game in a good bit here. He's had a productive season. It's been a little while since Brookline's seen him take the plate. He's showing bunt and pulling back, but that is in there for strike 1. Thus far in the season, Hart 9 for 36, 2 doubles, 5 walks, 3 steals, 6 runs scored, and 5 RBI. This one comes in low. That'll be ball 1. Sawada at second, Kravitz at first. Brookline trying to ride the momentum of their walk-off win on Wednesday into some early offense here against the Bulldogs. Hard swing from Hart. That's going to go through the gap into right. Sawada's going to round third. He's going to race for home. And there is going to be a run here in the top of the first. Nico Hart returns to the order and makes his presence known immediately with an RBI single. How about that for a return to the plate? Now coming up, number 12, Connor Jernigan. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Brookline on the board already. First pitch is in for strike 1 to Jernigan. Hart takes off, and Jernigan fouls it off for strike 2. Jernigan this season 9 for 37 at the plate with a team-leading 3 doubles, along with 6 walks, 2 hit by pitch, 1 steal, 4 runs, and 5 RBI. This one also fouled off. Jernigan stays alive at 0-2. Hart taking off again. This one's in for a ball. Hart down to second, and they catch him by a mile, and Kravitz holds at third. So that plan backfires tremendously for Brookline. Hart caught stealing for the first out of the inning. Great throw from the catcher for Canton, number 44, Matthew Hart. Jernigan skies this one. It's in foul territory. Will it stay in play? And they're going to say, wait a second. Oh, that was very interesting. So the ball was out of play. It was technically over the official barrier for out of play. So even though DeGirolamo caught it, it did not count as an out. There was a brief bit of confusion, and Ryan Kravitz, noticing the catcher was off the plate, decided to race for home for what would have been the craziest sac fly, but they let him know, no, that was an out-of-play ball. That one's in there for strike 3. Jernigan down on strikes. 2 down now in the inning for Brookline. Up comes number 11, Nate Kessler. First pitch comes in for strike 1. This one in the dirt for ball one. Kravitz still stands at third, but now 2 down in the top of the first. That one skips in the dirt, well covered by Hart, and it'll simply be ball two. Matthew Hart making some plays for Canton here in the top of the first. Threw out a runner stealing, and now a big block of a potential wild pitch there to save a run. That pitch comes in high for ball three. No. I miscounted the count. That was actually ball four. For some reason, I thought there was a strike in there, but clearly I was mistaken. Now stepping up to the plate for Brookline is number 20, Harrison Siegel. The umpires conferring. Maybe they also got confused on the count briefly. Okay, they did. I had the count right all along. It was 3-1. So Kessler returns to the plate. Siegel returns to the on-deck circle. Count is 3-1 to Kessler. And now there's ball four. So at the end of the day, still the same result, but, you know, now we've done things proper and correct. Kessler now at first, runners at the corners, and a meeting at the mound with the coach and the entire infield, as coming up for Brookline will be number 20, Harrison Siegel. Siegel so far this season 8 for 39. Got his first double of the year on Wednesday. He's also got 2 walks and a team-leading 6 hit-by pitches to go with 5 steals, 7 runs scored. And he's now tied for the team lead in RBI with 6, as Hart just drove in his 6th earlier this inning. First pitch in there, strike 1. So with runners at the corners, a potentially good chance for Brookline to steal, but we've seen Hart's arm throwing down to second before, as Siegel gets fooled on the curve that time for strike 2. Siegel behind early in this at-bat, 0-2. Kessler walking between first and second. It's a decoy play. Kessler. They missed the tag. Kessler reached safely. Kravitz comes in to score on the double steal. I thought it was going to be a question about when the tag was applied, but in fact they say the tag was not applied. The Canton coach coming out to debate the call. Understandably so. It looked like they had Kessler dead to rights. And now the question, if they do call him out, which it looks like they're not going to, but if they had called him out, it would have been a question of, did Kravitz cross the plate before or after the tag was applied? That would have been an insane call to try and figure out. But instead, Brookline does get a run, and Kessler reaches second safely. And just in time, as Siegel goes down swinging. And that will end the inning. Brookline puts a couple of runs on the board in the top of the first. Nico Hart with a splendid return to the order with an RBI single. And then some crafty base running between Kessler and Kravitz. And so as we head to the bottom of the first, Brookline with a 2-0 lead. And now, after getting that crafty steal of second, Nate Kessler is going to take the mound for his first start of the year. He has made 6 relief appearances on the mound this season. He's got an 0-1 win-loss record and 1 save. He's pitched 13.1 innings. And among all Brookline pitchers who have pitched at least 10 innings this season, Kessler has the best ERA amongst all qualifying pitchers for Brookline with 3.15. He has a whip of 1.80 and 11 strikeouts. He was one of Brookline's, I believe, 4 pitchers in that zany game against Wellesley on Wednesday. So he does have about an inning under his belt already this week, which is important to note because of pitch count rules. So it'll be interesting to see how Kessler handles his first start on the mound here against Canton. I'm not going to have time to read the full starting lineups for the two teams. I'll try and do that in the next break between innings. But for now, leading off for Canton here in the bottom of the first, the center fielder, number 8, Owen Lane. So Canton trying to respond after Brookline gets a couple runs across in the top of the first. First pitch from Kessler. In there, strike one. This one is fouled off for strike two. This one comes in high for ball one. Remember, as always, if you end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all upcoming live streams. This one is blooped out to left. It's foul. Lane stays alive at 1-2. This one is also chopped foul. Still 1-2, the count to Lane. And that one's going to miss high and outside for ball two. This one's chopped high. It's in foul territory. Will it stay in play? No. Lane refusing to go down easy. Showing Kessler a battle here as the first batter he faces. This one's chopped. Shallow left. And it skips past the left fielder in fair territory. Siegel couldn't corral it, and Lane is going to take advantage and go all the way down to second. Brookline trying to argue that it was foul, but doesn't look like an argument they're going to win. And so with a runner on second to start the inning, up comes the shortstop, number 2, Matthew Chaffin. This one is popped high into right. Hart's tracking it, and he's got the catch and rifles it into the infield to hold Lane at second. So after the long battle that Lane gave Kessler as the first batter, he gets a 1-pitch out. So 1 down, runner still at second. Up comes the first baseman, number 34, Jack DeGirolamo. First pitch in the dirt. That's going to be ball 1. Well blocked by the catcher, Ben Doctoroff. Getting a chance to start behind the plate for the first time in a little bit. Is that pitch high and inside for ball 2? As it's been Avery Melton manning the spot behind the plate for Brookline for a good stretch here. And in fact, Melton was the hero of Wednesday's game, had the walk-off game-winning single to secure the win against Wellesley in the bottom of the 7th. 3-0, the count to DeGirolamo. That one's down Broadway for strike 1. A note to any Canton fans that might be tuning into the live stream, if you notice me mispronouncing any names of any of the Bulldogs, feel free to correct me in the live chat. I prefer to get these names as accurately as I can. Kessler takes a beat off the rubber and now resets. And DeGirolamo lifts this one, going to stay in the infield. Sawada tracking it, and he's got it for out number 2. Now coming up, the pitcher, number 16, Hayden Rose. First pitch, hard crack, fielded somehow by Sawada, thrown to first, and he's got the 4-3 ground out to end the inning. Never sleep on Keenan Sawada in the infield as he makes another nice stop to add to his reel for the season. I thought for sure that was going to go up the middle and potentially bring in Lane for a run. But instead, that ends the inning and leaves the runner stranded. We are through 1 here at Gibson Field. The score, the Brookline Warriors 2, the Canton Bulldogs 0. So now I'm going to take a moment to read out the starting lineups for the two teams today. We'll start with Canton, leading off the center fielder, number 8, Owen Lane. Batting second, shortstop, number 2, Matthew Chaffin. Batting third, the first baseman, number 34, Jack DeGirolamo. Batting cleanup, the pitcher, number 16, Hayden Rose. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 44, Matthew Hart. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 19, Shane Kelleher. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 15, Matthew Lesser. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 10, Nick Gillis. Batting ninth, the left fielder, number 12, Gavin Davis. And just playing the field is the second baseman, number 5, J.T. Norton. And the starting lineup for Brookline, leading off the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. Batting second, the center fielder, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. Batting third, the right fielder, number 9, Nico Hart. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, number 12, Connor Jernigan. Batting fifth, the pitcher, number 11, Nate Kessler. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 20, Harrison Siegel. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 17, Charlie Engelman. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 15, Leander Gosling. And batting ninth, the catcher, number 8, Ben Doctoroff. So there are your starting lineups. Better late than never, I always say. And so it will be the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for Brookline: Engelman, Gosling, and Doctoroff. Now leading off, the third baseman, number 17, Charlie Engelman. First pitch in there for a strike. Engelman was right in the thick of several of the zaniest plays from Wednesday's contest against Wellesley as he fouls that one off for strike 2. Of course, the zaniest had to be that time when he reached on a dropped third strike when the first baseman failed to get his glove around the ball on the throw from the catcher to first, and that allowed 2 runs to score for Brookline. And he goes around there, and Engelman will go down on strikes. So a quick out for Rose there to start the inning. Now coming up for Brookline, the shortstop, number 15, Leander Gosling. And Gosling, either that was in the zone or Gosling went around. And that'll be strike 1. Next pitch hits the zone again, strike 2. Rose showing no hesitation against the bottom of Brookline's order. 0-2 now the count to Gosling. And gets him on strikes. 6 pitches, 6 strikes, 2 Ks for Rose. 3 more strikes, and that'll be an immaculate inning. Now coming up, the catcher, number 8, Ben Doctoroff. And that one hits the corner for strike 1. Doctoroff, like I said before, returning to the lineup after a brief stretch on the bench. And that one's going to miss high for ball 1. So no immaculate inning, but of course Rose still has a chance to strike out the side. As that one misses inside for ball 2. Doctoroff so far this season, 4 for 19, 1 double, 6 walks, 1 hit by pitch, 4 runs scored, and 2 RBI. As he takes that one low for ball 3. Swing and tips that one, strike 2. Full count to Doctoroff with 2 down and the base is empty here in the top of the second. And Doctoroff fouls this one off. Defensive swing keeps him alive with a full count. And another defensive swing there, fouls it up the third base line. Doctoroff continues to battle. And this time makes contact. That's fair up the third base line into left. Doctoroff is going to try and stretch it out to 2, and he slides in. Doctoroff with the 2-out hit. I'm not sure if you score that a single and an error or a double. But either way, that puts a runner in scoring position with 2 down as up comes the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. First pitch inside, ball 1. Sawada, his last time at the plate, he drew a leadoff walk and later came in to score on the RBI single by Nico Hart, hoping to keep the inning going here. That one in for strike 1. Sawada lifts this one, going to stay in play. Third baseman's under it, and Kelleher has the catch for out number 3. Brookline gets a runner on late in the top of the second, but ultimately leaves him stranded. Heading into the bottom of the second, the score still Brookline 2, Canton 0. Due up for the Bulldogs in the bottom of the second will be the 5, 6, 7 hitters, Hart, Kelleher, and Lesser. Tiny little fun fact about Canton's roster, they have 3 guys in their starting lineup today named Matthew, and 2 of them are going to be batting this inning with Hart and Lesser. Okay. Just checking the official scoring on a couple of plays. Lane's hit from the bottom of the first was scored as a single and advancing to second on an E7. And the same thing for Doctoroff's hit, a single and an E7. Kessler returns to the hill for his second inning of work. We've got one note in the live chat so far from one of our regular viewers, Barbara Jo Metzger. Go Brookline Warriors. Thank you so much for tuning in as always, Barbara. Now we start the bottom of the second. Leading off for the Bulldogs, the catcher, number 44, Matthew Hart. First pitch misses inside, ball 1. Hart's had a couple of nice defensive plays for Canton behind the plate already as he takes strike 1 there. Of course, he threw out Hart in the top of the first on an attempted steal. And then he also had one nice block on a potential wild pitch that could have brought in a run. He lifts one out to right, Hart charging in, and he's not going to get there in time. That's going to drop for a leadoff single. Now coming up for Canton, the third baseman, number 19, Shane Kelleher. First pitch misses in for ball 1. So no courtesy runner for the catcher as Hart takes a lead off from first, and that pitch misses outside this time, ball 2. As Kessler's missed to the inside and now to the outside, and Kelleher's got a 2-0 count. This pitch is a hard one. Bounces past Gosling and into left field. Hart's going to round second and try for third. And he's going to beat the throw there, and Kelleher is going to advance to second on the throw. That was a tough hop over at short, but regardless, they might still call that an E6. Hard to say. But either way, the aggressive base running by Hart pays off as he reaches third safely and allows Kelleher to advance on the throw. Canton off to a good start here in the bottom of the second with runners at second and third and nobody out. And up comes the designated hitter, number 15, Matthew Lesser. First pitch way high, just barely saved by Doctoroff there. That'll be ball one. That pitch in for a strike. This one is fouled off for strike two. That one is high again for ball two. Tried to see if he could get Lesser with the high heat, but Lesser wouldn't bite. That one is going to miss outside for ball three. So Lesser fights his way to a full count. And Lesser makes contact. That's going to go out to right. Hart's going to come in. Kelleher's going to hold at third. But Lesser gets Canton on the board with an RBI single. So no outs still, and runners at the corners, and up comes the right fielder, number 10, Nick Gillis. First pitch, whoa, there goes the bat. Gillis lost his grip there for a second. Effectively, that will be strike one. This one rocketed out to deep center. Kravitz going way back, and that's going to go all the way to the wall. This might clear the bases. Lesser is rounding third, and he's going to come in easily. A two-run double to deep center for Nick Gillis. Kelleher and Lesser both come in to score. Canton putting together quite the rally here in the bottom of the second. Still no outs in the inning. And up comes the left fielder, number 12, Gavin Davis. First pitch is a dribbler right back to Kessler on the mound. He's going to try and catch the lead runner. Throw back to second, and they got him. Score that one a 1-6 fielder's choice. Credit to Kessler for going for the more aggressive option despite the struggles they've had just getting an out in this inning, and they do ultimately get that first out and get a runner out of scoring position. We cycle back to the top of the order with the center fielder, number 8, Owen Lane. Lane hits the first pitch. It's a grounder to third. Engelman to second for one. On to first. The 5-4-3 double play ends the inning in a heartbeat. So that aggressive throw to second by Kessler pays extra dividends as it creates the force out that allows for that double play to end the inning. but Canton still makes some noise in the bottom of the second, and after 2, the score is the Canton Bulldogs 3, the Brookline Warriors 2. Due up for Brookline will be the 2, 3, 4 hitters. Kravitz, Hart, and Jernigan. Hayden Rose back on the mound for his 3rd inning of work. We got more notes in the live chat from Kim Chung-sik. Hi, Jesse. Go Brookline. Hey there, Chung-sik. Always good to see you tuning in. And now stepping up is the center fielder, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. First pitch is high for ball 1. Kravitz, his last time up, he hit a single to left and later came in to score on that zany double steal with Nate Kessler as he takes strike 1 there. Kravitz hits a grounder over to short, fielded it short, thrown to first, and that'll be a 6-3 ground out to start the inning. Now coming up, the right fielder, number 9, Nico Hart. Last time up, Hart got an RBI single to right, but was later caught stealing. Takes one at the low corner for strike 1. It's a windy day out here in Canton. So you can see the dust blowing around the infield. Hart lifts one out to right. Right fielder chasing it, and it hangs in the air long enough for Gillis to track it, and that will be out number 2. Now with 2 down and the bases empty, up comes the first baseman, number 12, Connor Jernigan. First pitch, and he swings at air, strike 1. Fouls this one off. That'll be strike 2. Jernigan behind early in this at bat, 0-2. And he fouls that one off. He's getting jammed inside. Count remains 0-2. That one just misses, ball 1. It's always tough for Jernigan. He's got perhaps the biggest strike zone of any hitter in Brookline's lineup. But that time it just missed. And that one, it definitely missed as it skips in the dirt for ball 2. If you're Brookline, that's one of those pitches where you wish that somebody was on base. because that would have been a free base on the wild pitch. That one comes in high, and Jernigan checks his swing. And it's a full count now. Jernigan now hits a chopper over to third, fielded by Kelleher. Quick throw to first, pulls the first baseman off the bag, but he does apply the tag, and that will end the inning. Brookline goes down in order in the top of the third. Score remains Canton 3, Brookline 2. Moving to the bottom of the third, due up for Canton. Same as Brookline before him, it'll be the 2, 3, 4 hitters. Chaffin, DeGirolamo, and Rose. Sorry about that, folks. Just taking a brief break on the mic between innings. Kessler returning to the hill for his third inning of work. Had a roller coaster of an inning in the bottom of the second. Gave up 4 straight hits. That drove in 3 runs. Three straight singles and then a double. But then after that, some aggressive defense on the base paths, got the lead runner on a fielder's choice, and then a 5-4-3 double play ended the inning. Now he's hoping for an easier inning here, starting with the shortstop, number 2, Matthew Chaffin. First pitch is in for strike 1. Chaffin, his last time up, he flew out to right. And here he skies one into shallow left. Siegel charging in, and he's got the catch for out number 1. It's 2 pitches, and you get the first out. Kessler's got to feel good about that one. Now with 1 out, up comes the first baseman, number 34, Jack DeGirolamo. First pitch tips that one, I think, for strike 1. DeGirolamo, his last time up, he popped out to second. And he got a piece of that one as well. 0-2 the count. That one is high for ball 1. DeGirolamo kind of similar to Jernigan in that he's got one of those larger strike zones. And he chases that one for strike 3. Kessler fooled him with the outside curve that time. And that is Kessler's first K of the day. 2 down, up comes the pitcher, number 16, Hayden Rose. And he takes high ball 1. Rose last time up got a well-hit ball, but it was well fielded by Keenan Sawada at second for a 4-3 groundout as that one misses outside for ball 2. Chase is the high heat for strike 1. That one misses low and away for ball 3. It's a hitter's count at 3-1 for Rose. And that one's going to miss inside for ball 4. A 2-out walk for the Canton pitcher. And up comes the catcher, number 44, Matthew Hart. Hart, his last time up, he got a single to right that sparked that big 4-hit rally for the Bulldogs, as we've got a courtesy runner for Canton. This is number 6, Kyle Redquest, running now for the pitcher, Hayden Rose. First pitch to Hart is in there for strike 1. And that's hard hit out to center. And Redquest thought about going to third, and they almost caught him going back, but he does get back to second. Hart's got his second hit of the day. Now with 2 runners on and 2 out, up comes the third baseman, number 19, Shane Kelleher. First pitch high and inside for ball 1. Kelleher, his last time up, he got a hard hit ball that took a high bounce past the shortstop for a single. And that one comes in high for ball 2. This is the part of the order that gave Kessler such trouble back in the second inning. He's hoping to get out of it this time. And Doctoroff thought about the pickoff throw, but instead it's simply going to be a high strike 1. 2-1, the count to Kelleher. That one catches the outside corner for strike 2. Again, Doctoroff was thinking about it. The scoreboard is showing a count of 3-1. I've got it at 2-2. I'm not sure. And that one's in there for strike 3. Okay, I had the count right. And Kessler gets out of the jam with that one. Through 3, our score, the Canton Bulldogs 3, the Brookline Warriors 2. Still anyone's ball game here. Brookline coming into this game with a 4-12 record, having just snapped an 8-game losing streak with their walk-off win over Wellesley on Wednesday. Canton, their Division II opponent, coming in a very interesting situation. 6-11 their record, ranked 34th in the Division II power rankings that came out this morning. So Canton just outside the D2 playoff picture looking in. With 11 losses, they can't get in with a 500 record or better. However, with them at 34th in the power rankings, all they need to do in these last few games of the season is win as much as they can to try and improve their spot in the power rankings, because if they move up 2 spots into 32nd in the power rankings, they will qualify for a playoff spot. So this game could mean a great deal for the Bulldogs as they are trying to fight for their spot in the dance in Division 2. Brookline with a 4-12 record and 47th in the power rankings. They're pretty much out of the playoffs for this year. Excuse me. So at this point, Brookline just fighting for pride and love of the game. But for anyone who's watched this Brookline team the last couple of years, you know that sometimes it is at that stage of the season where Brookline plays their best ball. Due up for Brookline in this top of the 4th inning will be the 5, 6, 7 hitters, Kessler, Siegel, and Engelman. Leading off, the pitcher, number 11, Nate Kessler. First pitch misses, ball 1. Last time up, Kessler drew a walk, stole second as part of that crazy double steal that got Brookline their second run, but he was ultimately left stranded. Takes strike 1 that time. That one in there for strike 2. Kessler has not swung at anything yet, and he's now staring down a 1-2 count. That one is low for ball 2. Kessler reaches out and hits a dribbler to third, fielded by Kelleher, thrown to first, gets him in time for out number 1. Kelleher's got a really fast transfer from glove to throwing hand for the high school level, and that makes him a really great asset for Canton over at third base. First pitch catches Siegel chasing in the dirt for strike 1. The left fielder, number 20, Harrison Siegel, his last time up, he struck out to end the first inning. As that one misses low for ball 1. That one in there for strike 2. 1-2 the count. And fouls that one up the third base line, stays alive at 1-2. That one misses just outside ball 2. And that hits him. The master of the HBP is back as Siegel records his 7th hit by pitch of the season. Amazing. He is the master of getting pegged by opposing hurlers. And he now stands at first with 1 out. Up comes the third baseman, number 17, Charlie Engelman. First pitch gets away from the catcher, and Siegel is going to take second. And he's going to move into scoring position off of what was either a wild pitch or a passed ball. One and 0, the count to Engelman. That one catches the low corner for strike one. Engelman, his last time up, went down on strikes, hoping to put a ball in play here and move the runner. That one is going to miss low that time for ball two. Engelman lifts this one out to left, and that's going to sail foul for strike two. Good contact, just a little too far out in front of that one. And it'll be a 2-2 count now to Engelman. And that one catches the corner. Engelman fooled by the curve. And that'll be strike three. Two down now with a runner at second. Up comes the shortstop, number 15, Leander Gosling. That pitch comes in high for ball one. That one gonna miss outside for ball two. Gosling may not be the biggest threat with his bat. He's only got one base hit this season, but he's got an on-base percentage of almost 500 because of 6 walks in 16 plate appearances. But he hits a hard one there, and that's going through the gap into left. Siegel rounding third. He's racing for home, and he's gonna come in with the tying run. That might be the greatest positive announcer jinx I've ever done in my broadcasting career. Leander Gosling, I was just talking about how he only had one hit to his name so far this season, and then he comes through with a 2-out RBI hit to tie the game at 3. Amazing. Now up for Brookline, the catcher, number 8, Ben Doctoroff. Doctoroff takes ball one. Doctoroff, his last time up, hit a single, advanced to second on an E7, but was left stranded. Swing and a miss there for strike one. That one is in there for strike two. And that's a hard hit ball, but right at Kelleher for out number 3. Once again, Kelleher proves his worth at the hot corner with a nice snag there. And that will end the top of the 4th inning, but not before Brookline ties us up at 3 apiece. And it was Leander Gosling, possibly the least likely suspect to get the game-tying hit out of Brookline's batting order. But that just makes it an even more awesome moment in my eyes. Clutch play by the Brookline senior to tie things up. Nate Kessler comes back out on the mound for his 4th inning of work, trying to keep things tied and give his offense the opportunity to try and take the lead. He'll be facing the 7, 8, 9 hitters, Lesser, Gillis, and Davis. And I love the notes from Kim Chung-sik in the live chat. Let's make 2 digits of hit by pitch. Harrison is an awesome team player. And, you know, hit by pitch really is one of those stats that you feel like is has such a strong element of random chance, you know, that you hesitate to give too much credit to the hitter when he racks up a bunch. But, I mean, at the very least, you know, it shows that the guy doesn't flinch when a ball flies at him, you know. Maybe doesn't dodge out of the way as often as other players, whatever it might be. But whatever the case may be, it was another hit by pitch on Harrison Siegel that put him in a spot to score. The hit by pitch and the wild pitch got him to second for Gosling to hit him in. Leading off for Canton, the designated hitter, number 15, Matthew Lesser, hits a first pitch grounder, and it gets past Gosling into left. Lesser reaches on the E6 to start the inning. A leadoff runner on for the Bulldogs. And now coming up is the man who's had the biggest hit so far today, the right fielder, number 10, Nick Gillis. Gillis launched a missile to deep center his last time up for a 2-run double. He got caught between second and third on a fielder's choice after that. And here he takes strike 1. That one curves in nicely for strike 2. And Gillis skies this one into shallow right center. Sawada backtracking, and he's not going to be able to catch it. Throw down to second is going to miss completely, and the runners are not going to advance. Gillis dropped that one in about the only spot that it could have resulted in a hit. My guess is they're going to score that one a single, as that was far from an easy catch for any of the fielders. And so that puts 2 runners on with nobody out for the left fielder, number 12, Gavin Davis. Shows bunt, lays it down, fielded by Kessler, throws to first, and they take the sac bunt for the first out. Both runners advance, and it is now second and third with 1 out as we cycle around to the top of the order for the center fielder, number 8, Owen Lane. Owen Lane, 1 for 2 so far today, with a single and a ground out into a double play as he takes ball 1 there. And that one misses around the ankles for ball 2. Well covered by Doctoroff. And now a meeting at the mound with the potential go-ahead run just 90 feet away and only 1 out in the inning. We'll see what Brookline decides to do here. Will they stick with Kessler? And they are not. That's going to be the end of the day for Nate Kessler. They're going to go to the bullpen. And it looks like they are going to go to number 2, Owen Hoffman. So Kessler leaves, having pitched 3 1/3 innings. It's important to note he was a relief pitcher for Brookline on Wednesday. So his pitch count might have been getting up there, but also just a tough situation here. And it'll be interesting to see how Owen Hoffman handles it. He did come on as a reliever as well on Wednesday. Pitched about an inning. Comes into this one with a rough set of numbers, and strangely enough, he's going to be coming in mid at bat as Lane is still at the plate facing a 2-0 count. This will mark Hoffman's 6th relief appearance of the season. Through the first 5, he's pitched 4 2/3 innings with a tough ERA of 7.50 and a whip of 3.21 and 6 strikeouts. So Brookline's going to be looking for a clutch performance out of the pen from Hoffman. Going to take a brief break off the mic. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. Hoffman has finished his warm-ups. It is a 2-0 count to Lane. And that first pitch is going to miss high, and that's going to be ball 3. It is very strange to see a reliever come in the middle of an at-bat. And he throws 2 balls and walks the batter. So the base is now loaded. There's now a force everywhere as up comes the shortstop, number 2, Matthew Chaffin. First pitch misses for ball 1. And the next one misses high for ball 2. Hoffman struggling early to find the strike zone. That one catches the high corner, though. Strike 1. Bases loaded, 1 out. There's a force at every base. But any advancement of the runner will bring in the go-ahead run, as that is now ball 3. 3-1. My apologies for the sun. Clearly, I picked the wrong spot to set up my camera. That's on me. My apologies, folks. This one is fouled. It's going to sail out of play, but that will be a big strike 2. So a full count to Chaffin here. Swing and a miss. Huge recovery by Owen Hoffman as he sends Chaffin down on strikes. And now coming up, the first baseman, number 34, Jack DeGirolamo. First pitch in the dirt, but well blocked by Doctoroff. That'll simply be ball one. DeGirolamo 0 for 2 so far today with a pop out and a strikeout. That pitch misses low and away for ball two. 2-0 the count. That one in there, strike one. This one's hard hit, skips past the shortstop into left. That's going to score at least two. They throw back into the infield, gets away from the shortstop, and DeGirolamo is going to advance down to second on the throw. 2 runs come in on the big hit by Jack DeGirolamo as the Bulldogs take back the lead 5-3. Lesser and Gillis both in to score. And now coming to the plate, the pitcher, number 16, Hayden Rose. This one's a dribbler over to third, fielded by Engelman. Gonna throw to first, and got him. Good scoop off the ground by Jernigan at first. And that will end the 4th inning, but the big 2-out hit by Jack DeGirolamo gives Canton the lead. At the end of 4, the score, Canton 5, Brookline 3. During this 4th inning intermission, I'd like to take a moment for a local charity spotlight. I'd like to tell you about the Brookline Food Pantry. The Brookline Food Pantry provides groceries to Brookline residents in need of food assistance. The pantry saw a huge increase in demand for food assistance at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that number has remained steadily high ever since. The food pantry has been serving an average of 650 households each week, more than 4 times the rate of families served pre-COVID. Brookline Food Pantry is fighting the good fight against hunger in our community, and they are always looking for more people willing to lend a hand, whether through monetary donations, direct food donations, or volunteers in the pantry. Food donations can be made at United Parish Church at 210 Harvard Street in Brookline on Wednesdays and Fridays from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Monetary donations can be made online at the food pantry's website, brooklinefoodpantry.org. You can go online to brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339 for more information about how you can help the Brookline Food Pantry to feed your community. Once again, that's brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339. And remember, as always, all the information you need about our local charity spotlight down in the description section down below. And while I'm on the subject, I'll give a quick shout out to the Canton Food Pantry as well. I saw the food pantry on the map when I was looking up the address for Canton High School on my GPS. So shout out to all the local food pantries and all the great work that they do. It's going to be the top of the order due up for Brookline as Hayden Rose returns to the mound for his 5th inning of work. If there are no lead changes, he will be the pitcher on credit for the win. Kessler would be on hook for the loss as the go-ahead run was scored as a runner that was inherited. First pitch to Keenan Sawada is strike 1. This one skips in the dirt for ball 1. Sawada popped out to third his last time up. Before that, had a walk and a run. Fouls this one off for strike 2. Oh, a check swing foul. Sawada stays alive at 1-2, although I'm sure he would have preferred an inside ball too on that pitch. And swing and a miss. Sawada tried a defensive swing there, but could not get any of it. And he goes down on strikes. 1 out. Up comes the center fielder, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. Kravitz hits a bouncer. It's a little slow over to short, picked up, thrown to first, and they got him in time for out number 2. Well fielded by a charging Matthew Chaffin as that ball kind of died on the infield grass. Now up with 2 down and the base is empty, the right fielder, number 9, Nico Hart. Hart's first pitch, he hits a grounder over to third, fielded by Kelleher, thrown to first, and that's going to be out number 3. Brookline goes down quickly, 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th. We move to the bottom half of the inning with Canton still in the lead, 5-3. Hoffman returning to the mound after he took over in the bottom of the 4th. He'll be facing the 5, 6, 7 hitters, Hart, Kelleher, and Lesser. Excuse me. A note in the live chat from Peter QB24, go Brookline, watching PGA tournament on TV and Brookline baseball on my phone. I love that. I love that multi-monitor sports fan life. Wind still whipping out here in Canton as we get ready for the start of the bottom of the 5th. Leading off for the Bulldogs, the catcher, number 44, Matthew Hart. First pitch is low for ball 1. Hart 2 for 2 so far today with a pair of singles. Last time he was left stranded on the base paths. Before that, scored a run. Takes strike 1 there. Hits a dribbler over to third, fielded by Engelman. Quick throw to first is not going to be in time. Hart legs it out. How about the wheels on the Canton catcher? So Hart with his third base hit of the day. And now coming up, the third baseman, number 19, Shane Kelleher. Runner taking off on the first pitch. It's a high ball one. Throw down to second. Got him in time. Hart was fast enough to outrace the throw to first, but was not fast enough to outrace the throw to second. Doctoroff throws him out for out number one. Canton coach looks like he's coming out disputing the call. But that call will stand. Hart is out at second. And it's a 1-0 count to Kelleher. Make that a 2-0 count. That one in there for strike one. Now Doctoroff coming out to talk to Hoffman. And that one's going to be tipped for strike two. That one's going to miss for ball three. This one lifted out to left, and that's going to drop in for a clean single. So Canton puts another runner on the base paths. Back to having a runner on first. Now coming up, the designated hitter, number 15, Matthew Lesser. First pitch comes in high, ball one. That one's in there for a strike. Swing and a miss there, strike two. Lesser so far today, he's had an RBI single, reached on an E6, and he's scored twice himself. This one comes in high for ball two. That one's going to miss high and away for ball three. Full count now to Lesser. Runner taking off, and it's fouled off by Lesser as Kelleher trots back to first. Count remains 3-2. Runner takes off again, swing and a miss, strike three, throw down to second, no one was covering. Lesser goes down on strikes. Kelleher does successfully steal second. So strange to have that nobody came to cover second in that situation. Hard to say whether or not Kelleher would have been caught anyway. But either way, that moves a runner to second with 2 down. And that's going to be a high ball 1 to the right fielder, number 10, Nick Gillis. Gillis, his last time up, he singled and later scored. He is 2 for 2 with a single, a double, a run scored, and 2 RBI. And he's staring down a 2-0 count right now. That one misses for a low ball 3. 3-0 the count to Gillis. And misses for a 4-pitch walk. Gillis trots down to first with the free pass. And that brings up the left fielder, number 12, Gavin Davis. First pitch in for a strike. Davis 0 for 1 so far today. He's grounded into a fielder's choice and laid down a sac bunt. As that pitch clearly got away from Hoffman, that'll be a high ball 1. This one is skied into shallow right center, and Sawada tracks it for out number 3. Canton strands a pair, and that's the end of the 5th. Through 5, the score, Canton 5, Brookline 3. Brookline has got 6 outs left to try and get back 2 runs. And Hayden Rose will be returning to the mound for now his 6th inning of work against the Warriors. Due up for Brookline will be their 4, 5, 6 hitters. Jernigan, Hoffman, and Siegel. And again, my deepest apologies for picking the wrong side to shoot from. For some reason, I thought the sun was going to be setting directly behind home plate, and it wouldn't matter which side I picked, but it seems pretty clear that I should have settled over on the third base side so the sun would be setting behind us. Again, that's my fault, but live and learn. You know, for any of you who watched my live stream of last year's game in Framingham and this year's game in Framingham, you know I learned my lesson with that one. Covered last year's game on the first base side, had the sun in my face, and then learned from my mistakes and shot from the third base side this year. So hopefully I'll retain the lesson here. Note in a live chat from Greg Hoffman, great shoot, Doc, referring to Doctoroff making the throw down to second to catch Hart stealing. Given that Kelleher got a single in a situation where Hart would have been at second, that throwdown might have saved a run. Now coming up for Brookline, the first baseman, number 12, Connor Jernigan. First pitch, hard crack, but it's right at the shortstop, well fielded by Chaffin for the 6-3 ground out. So one down, and now up comes the pitcher, number 2, Owen Hoffman. First pitch, and he hits a high hopper over to third, well snagged by Kelleher, and that's going to be a simple 5-3 ground out. Infielders playing very strong for the Bulldogs today. I always say there's no such thing as a routine ground out at the high school level, so give them their credit. Are you kidding me? That one looked like it stung. Boy, Harrison Siegel is going to have his fair share of battle scars at the end of this season. That is his 8th time being hit by a pitch this season. I hadn't even had time to update the scoreboard with the second out, as Siegel draws his second hit by pitch of the day. Now stepping in the third baseman, number 17, Charlie Engelman. First pitch comes in high for ball 1. Engelman 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts so far. He wants to make something happen this time. Siegel leading off from first. Engelman skies one into shallow left. Left fielder tracking it, and he's got it for out number 3. So Brookline not able to get anything going in the 6th. They're down to their final 3 outs, but first, before they can face down that situation, they've got to take care of the bottom half of this inning. Our score going into the bottom half, Canton 5, Brookline 3. Due up will be the top of the order for the Bulldogs. That'll be Lane Chaffin and DeGirolamo. Hoffman returning to the mound for another inning of relief work. And, you know, it's tough for Hoffman. I mean, he's had his ups and downs with this relief outing, but all in all, outside of the 2-out, 2-run single that he allowed to DeGirolamo back in the 4th, he's actually been doing pretty well as a reliever. 1 2/3 innings pitched, no runs credited to him. But it's always tough as a reliever when you allow inherited runners to score, especially when those will count as possibly the winning score. But for now, his job is to give his team as good a chance as possible to come back in the 7th. And to do that, he's got to put down the Canton hitters here. Starting off, the center fielder, number 8, Owen Lane. That one is in the dirt for ball 1. This one skied out to right. Hart chasing after it, and he's got it out in right center for out number 1. One out. Now up comes the shortstop, number 2, Matthew Chaffin. First pitch misses outside, ball 1. Chaffin, his last time up, he went down on strikes. Skies this one out to left, and that's going to go over Siegel's head and go all the way to the wall. Chaffin going for extra bases, and he's got a one-out double. Canton trying to potentially add to their lead here. And we've got a brief timeout for a meeting at the mound. And it looks like that's going to be the end of the day for Owen Hoffman. So at the end of the day, he pitches 2 innings of relief. No runs credited to him, although he did allow 2 inherited runners to score. Those runners were credited to the starter, Nate Kessler. And it looks like taking over on the mound for Brookline is going to be number 19, Ben Rosenblatt. Rosenblatt making just his 2nd appearance of the season. He's made 1 appearance. He's pitched 3 innings, striking out 2. He's got an okay ERA at 2.33 and a whip of 2.00. Brookline's going to be looking to Rosenblatt here. Try and get out of this 6th inning with minimal damage. Situation is 1 out. Matthew Chaffin at 2nd after the 1-out double. And coming up is the first baseman, number 34, Jack DeGirolamo. Rosenblatt with a brief meeting with his first baseman, Connor Jernigan, after finishing his warm-up throws. Now stepping up is the first baseman, number 34, Jack DeGirolamo. Rosenblatt's first pitch is rocketed out to left, and that's going to drop right in front of Siegel. Runner's going to round third and head for home, and they're going to miss the cutoff man on the throw, and DeGirolamo's got another RBI hit. One pitch, 1 hit, 1 run, as DeGirolamo, with his 2nd consecutive RBI single, drives in Chaffin and makes it a 6-3 ball game in favor of the Bulldogs. Now up is the pitcher, number 16, Hayden Rose. First pitch was out in front of that one, strike 1. Rose, his last time up, he grounded out to 3rd. And he slices this one, staying in the infield, Gosling under it for out number 2. Two down. Now up comes the catcher, number 44, Matthew Hart. And Hart has had quite the productive day so far, 3 for 3 with a trio of singles. He has scored once and been caught stealing once. First pitch misses outside, ball 1. Now Hart up with a runner in scoring position. That one in there, strike 1. Runner taking off for third, throw down to third, and DeGirolamo slides under the tag. Pitch itself was ball 2, excuse me. 2-1, the count to Hart. And it's a check swing grounder, and that's going to go foul. A 2-2 count now to Hart. 2 down, runner at third. And that one comes in over his head for ball 3. And that pitch is going to miss for ball 4. So Hart gets a free pass to first. And now up comes the third baseman, number 19, Shane Kelleher. With runners at the corners, might be a big opportunity to try and steal, as Kelleher chases that one in the dirt for strike 1. It'll be interesting. Hart has been caught stealing once before. So we'll see what Canton decides to do here. Runner does take off, high ball, and they're just going to let Hart take it. They're not going to risk it. One and one, runners now at second and third. This one is skied out to right. Hart is under it, and he's got it. And that is out number 3. Canton adds an insurance run in the bottom of the 6th off another RBI hit from DeGirolamo. And through 6, heading into the final inning, the score, the Canton Bulldogs 6, the Brookline Warriors 3. Due up for Brookline in the top of the 7th will be the 8-9-1 hitters Gosling, Doctoroff, and Sawada. And Canton is going to send out Hayden Rose to try and finish a complete game here. He's had a solid outing so far. I feel like most baseball coaches would be pretty happy with a 6-inning, 3 runs allowed performance from their starting pitcher. feel like most coaches would take that every day, never mind a potential 7-inning complete game, 3 runs allowed outing. I mean, statistically speaking, that would be an ERA of exactly 3. Which anyone who follows baseball knows that's a pretty solid ERA. One last meeting with the infield before starting the top of the 7th. Leading off for Brookline is the shortstop, number 15, Leander Gosling. Gosling, his last time up, he hit an RBI single that at the time was the tying run. First pitch, and he skies it foul and out of play. Chases that one low, strike 2. And swing and a miss. Gosling goes down on strikes. Rose again working very efficiently on the hill. 1 down. Now up comes the catcher, number 8, Ben Doctoroff. First pitch is high for ball 1. That one hits the outside corner for strike 1. Doctoroff, his last time up, lined out to third to end the 4th inning. Shows bunt, but pulls back as the pitch comes in the dirt for ball 2. Doctoroff 1 for 2 so far. He singled and went to second on an E7 his first time up. Then had the line out. This is his first time up with less than 2 outs. Takes that one inside for ball 3. 3-1 the count. And that one is in the dirt for ball 4. So Doctoroff gets on base. And we cycle to the top of the order with the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. First pitch, and he lifts it foul down the left field side for strike 1. Sawada went down on strikes his last time up. Before that, popped out to third, and before that, drew a walk. Shows bunt, lays it down the third base line, picked up by Kelleher, thrown to first, not in time for the second game in a row. Sawada reaches on a bunt single. Brookline starting to string something together. 1 out, runners at first and second. Up comes the center fielder, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. Tying run is at the plate with 1 out. First pitch in there, strike 1. Kravitz, his last time up, grounded out to short. Before that, grounded out to short. And now he skies one into left center. It's being tracked and it's caught out in center field. Doctoroff retreats back to second, but that is out number 2. Brookline down to their final out now. And it will be the right fielder, number 9, Nico Hart. Hart got the scoring started for Brookline with an RBI single back in the first inning. Hoping to make some more noise here. First pitch inside, ball 1. Last time up, Hart grounded out to third to end the 5th inning. He also flew out to right in the 3rd, so 1 for 3 with an RBI. Hits one, and it's fielded by the second baseman. Flip to second, and that is your ball game. JT Norton, whose name I don't think I've said all day, makes the final play to secure the win for the Bulldogs. Canton keeps up their fight for a spot in the Division II playoffs. They improve to 7-11 on the year. Brookline falls to 4-13. Let's recap this game as we wrap up our live stream. In the top of the first, Brookline got things going with a pretty exciting first inning. A leadoff walk by Keenan Sawada, followed up by a single from Ryan Kravitz. Put 2 runners on, and then Nico Hart, in his first game back in a little while, hit an RBI single into right that scored Sawada, made it a 1-0 ball game. Hart was caught stealing second, but then after a 2-out walk was drawn by Nate Kessler, Brookline decided to be aggressive on the base paths again. Kessler going for their Brookline's signature walk decoy steal as Kessler started walking to second to distract the pitcher from Kravitz going home, and somehow Kessler dodged around the tag to get to second safely while Kravitz scored, making it a 2-0 lead for Brookline after 1 inning. In the bottom of the first, Canton got a leadoff single from Owen Lane, and he advanced to second on an E7, but was ultimately left stranded. Top of the second, Brookline got a 2-out single from from Ben Doctoroff, who also advanced to second on an E7, but Doctoroff was also left stranded. Bottom of the second, Canton got their offense going with 4 straight hits to open the inning. Matthew Hart, Shane Kelleher, and Matthew Lesser each got a single, with Lesser's single driving in Hart. And then Nick Gillis launched a double out to deep center to score Kelleher and Lesser. That gave Canton a 3-2 lead, although Brookline made some nice defensive plays to bounce back. Nate Kessler on a fielder's choice caught Gillis between second and third, and then a 5-4-3 double play ended the inning. Top of the third, Brookline went down in order. Bottom of the third, Canton got 2 runners on, but left them stranded. Top of the fourth, Harrison Siegel was hit by a pitch, went to second on a wild pitch, and then Leander Gosling got a 2-out single to left that drove in Siegel for the tying run to make it a 3-3 ball game, but unfortunately that is where the scoring would stop for Brookline, and it was not where the scoring would stop for Canton. Bottom of the fourth, Lesser led off by reaching on an E6. Gillis followed up with a single. Sacrifice bunt moved the runners to second and third, and then a walk by Owen Lane loaded the bases. And then 2 batters later, it was Jack DeGirolamo with a 2-out single that drove in Lesser and Gillis to make it a 5-3 ball game at the end of 4. Top of the fifth, Brookline went down in order. Bottom of the fifth, Canton got a leadoff single, but the runner was caught stealing second. They got another single, and that runner successfully stole second. And then a walk put a second runner on, but the 2 runners were left stranded. Top of the 6th, Siegel was hit by a pitch again to put a runner on with 2 outs, but he was left stranded. Bottom of the 6th, Canton added an insurance run. Matthew Chaffin got a 1-out double, and then DeGirolamo came through with another RBI single to drive in Chaffin. And although Canton would leave 2 runners stranded on 2nd and 3rd to end the inning, they did make it 6-3. And while Brookline started putting something together with a walk and a single in the top of the 7th, ultimately they would leave the runners stranded and end up with a loss. The final score, 6-3. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Remember, if you enjoyed this live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. To stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams, I am slated to cover Brookline boys lacrosse tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. at Downs Field as they face off against the Falcons of Cambridge Ringe. And then there will be plenty more baseball next week. There's still 3 games left in the regular season for Brookline, including their senior day game on Monday against Milton High School. Be sure to stay tuned for all my upcoming streams. Subscribing to the channel can help. And of course, if there's anything you'd like to say, I encourage you to say it in the comment section down below after the stream is concluded. Thank you to all the folks who brought the good vibes in the live chat today. Also, be sure to go down below to the description section of the video to find all the information you need about our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Food Pantry. And also in the description section or in the bottom right corner of your screen, you can see some information about me. Be sure to check out my personal website, jessesports.com. Find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. You can also email me directly with any questions or requests you may have. And you can also follow me on Instagram, where I post highlights from previous live streams. But for this live stream, that is going to do it. Final score, Canton 6, Brookline 3. From Gibson Field in Canton, Massachusetts, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.